Welcome to The Other Side of the Page, a bookish podcast where we yap about the books we love
and the songs that give us main character energy.
We're here to sift through the chaos that is our TBR.
And to let you know why a book might just be your next favorite read.
I'm Britt, dramatic plot twist lover and champion for MMCs needing to be more pathetic and down bad.
And I'm Hannah, reader of at least 5 books at once and a detailed fantasy map enthusiast.
Every Wednesday, press play on a brand new bookish episode.
Stay up to date with the books we will be covering by following us on social media at othersideofthepagepod over on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads.
Yes, and don't forget to follow, rate, and review the podcast a shining 5 stars on your preferred platform because it helps us so much with visibility.
Yes. This week, our episode is focusing on casting choices in book adaptations and our thoughts and feelings.
Yes, so we will be yapping about the chef's kisses, the best casting choices, and the ones that if they paid us the big bucks, we would not have chosen them. So go ahead and grab yourselves an iced coffee
or iced chai
and let's turn the page together.
Dear reader, so if you listened to our last episode, we said we were going to talk about remarkably bright creatures, but then it kind of morphed into something different, and we had a lot more fun with this idea. But it was inspired by Sally Field's casting in the Remarkably Bright Creatures movie coming out this week. So we are going to talk about some of our casting choices this year for different things, and maybe some past ones that
we have some thoughts
I just
on.
Can't let go.
All right, so no song choice this week because we're just, doing a whole overarching thing, but we're going to move into our pages turned and bridges burned, and most of this episode is just going to be us yapping away because while we kind of have a format with this one, so just stick with us, but if you've been around, you know how this goes. Y'all know how these episodes work.
Yes.
So we're going to start, I feel like we start with like the worst and work our way up to end up
we probably
high.
should.
All right, so we're going to start with our thank you next casting choices. And the first one, this was so controversial. This just blew up a couple of weeks ago, but I am going to chant this from the top of my lungs. #NotMyGus.
I know. And I sent you something on Threads right now that's like, you're going to be eating your words, people that don't think that. But like,
I just disagree.
I just don't.
Patrick Schwarzenegger is not Gus Everett.
No.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And like, it could have been literally anyone else. There were so many options. And like,
I know.
I hope that I'm pleasantly surprised by him.
I do too.
But my expectations are in the gutter.
Yeah. And this brought up PTSD for me because the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
When I read those, like, me and my friends had a very specific like thought of like Peeta Mellark because we were like Team Peeta, right?
Yeah, totally.
And then Josh Hutcherson got cast, and like I feel bad now because I'm like, I like Josh, like he's such a good guy, but I just remember being like crushed, like he's not my Peeta, like, and that's how I feel about Gus.
That. Yeah, I remember that, and like, but I thought Sam Claflin, who ended up playing Finnick, was someone that I thought could have been cast as Peeta. However, Sam Claflin is Finnick Odair forever 100%. And always. But I also thought like Alex Pettyfer, who him and Sam Claflin look very similar.
That's who me and my friends all thought.
What was he in around that time for all of us to have
wanted? I don't know, but that's like who we were. I gotta look this up.
When I was on roleplay forums, I used Alex Pettyfer as like my character that I would create. So that's a little bit of lore from Brittany, is that I would role play on these forums. I think they were hosted. I don't even remember the hosting sites, but there was one called like La Même Histoire that I was on. It was a French-based one. I was writing things in Paris when I was 15 and knew nothing about the goddamn world.
What was so it would have been like what in the 2008, 2009?
Well, it depends on when, because the movie came out in 2012. So probably around 2010 to 2011.
So he was in Beastly, I Am Number 4, Tormented Wild Child.
No.
Which like none of those I feel like
those
were
I would have like no.
He was in like Magic Mike, but that was after.
Okay. Then maybe we all just had like a collective hallucination that Alex Pettyfer should have been.
Yeah.
Should have been Peeta Mellark. Now listen, I think that Josh Hutcherson did a phenomenal job in the
Yes,
movies
I
as
agree.
Peeta. He just wasn't, he was not physically what I imagined as the bread boy.
Yes.
But that's okay. Now, okay, this next one really kind of kills us, you guys. Hannah,
really
you can go ahead. It
pains
really
me. It like breaks my heart.
I'm so deeply horrified and upset by this.
Because if you know, you know. We will not shut up about We Used to Live Here. And now we just covered The Caretaker.
Correct.
And the casting for these two movies is Blake Lively for We Used to Live Here, which like hasn't got any traction for a while, so
No.
I don't know.
Like where that is, yeah.
Yeah, but then Sydney Sweeney bought her production company, bought the rights for The Caretaker. And like the narrator in The Caretaker I absolutely hate, and I think she's like dumb. Well, I don't hate her, but so I'm like, okay, she kind of fits the role, but I'm like, I don't want to watch her.
No, you guys, okay,
because somehow it's gonna relate to like she's gonna be topless somehow, and that has nothing to do with the movie.
And hear me out. Listen, I'm all for the girlies being out, like out and about, let them swing in appropriate settings. But like,
yes,
she as an actress, to me, this is me, my personal thoughts and beliefs. I cannot stand her. By all means, like I know a lot of people love her. I think that
I didn't mind her in the rom-com with Glenn Powell.
Okay, that one wasn't too bad. I could not stand her as Millie in The Housemaid. I was going to bring that up, but I forgot to put it down. I thought Amanda Seyfried carried that movie on her back, and so did I cannot remember his name, but the actor who played the husband. Everything is elusive to me right now. My brain's not working, but I personally am not a Sydney Sweeney fan. So to hear her be a part of the adaptation for one of my favorite books by one of my favorite authors, I'm not a fan, but that's okay. We're gonna persevere. And will I still go see it? Yes. Will I pay my American dollars to go see it? You bet I will.
Yep.
But
so that's like the ones that we can think of. Bless you. Yes, for like our thank you next. Mid casting choices, not many, but I do put January from Beach Read definitely.
I agree.
As mid because I think she'll do an okay job, but I just think of like her and Bridgerton, and like it's hard for me to
like separate them.
Yeah.
So and I think like, yeah, I saw her and I went, okay. Like I'm not mad. We'll see how that goes. I have some questions. I guess my biggest concern is that Emily Henry has been radio silent about the casting. I know. And normally she's like,
hype people girl. Even on vacation, it was like
it was hype girl number one. It was in her grocery list. If you guys are not subscribed to Emily Henry's Substack, she has her grocery list that she puts out. There was not a word uttered, not even a repost to her stories. So
nope.
There's that. But we do have a lot of top tier casting choices, and I'm sure we're missing a bunch of these, but I think go ahead.
I mean, I think top tier / mid, because I don't know how it's going to play out, is like the Odyssey.
Oh,
and I feel like the cast is like stacked for it, but then also I'm like,
oh,
what
are we doing?
Is it gonna feel like a historic, like a timepiece with all of these like
that makes sense
people?
That makes a lot
we'll
of sense.
See. Yep. But I just had to throw that one out there.
Totally, but we would be remiss to not mention the phenomenon. We talked about this book as a whole right before the movie came out, but Ryan Gosling in Project Hail Mary as Ryland Grace was, truly stellar, phenomenal. That movie, you guys, if you haven't read the book, I still highly encourage you to read the book, even if you've seen the movie. Audiobook very specifically. You can read it, but I think that if I had read it, I would have gotten lost in the science. I think that the performance is part of why the book is so magical by Ray Porter.
Ray Porter does a great job.
Phenomenal. But we had to mention Ryan Gosling in Project Hail Mary because he genuinely stole the show.
Yes. And I did already mention it, but I think Sally Field as Tova in Remarkably Bright Creatures is going to be so perfect. I can't wait. Can't wait to watch her.
Love that. I will say, I did just get a notification that Megan Quinn commented on the video that I posted from yesterday. So that's fun. I'm scared to see what she commented because it was about hobby horsing. So, I met Megan Quinn yesterday, which is amazing. Has nothing to do with this episode, but I just saw it and I'm going to leave it in anyway.
You should, because who knows? One day we could be talking about a adaptation for her.
We could be talking about Megan Quinn adaptations. But so our next episode, which we have not announced yet, but this one is related to that. We are talking about Yesteryear because Hannah made me read Yesteryear. It was a look what you made me read. And she was like, you must read this book. Basically told me that she was going to like harvest one of my kidneys if I didn't read it. And I was required. And so we're going to be talking about that. So Anne Hathaway in Yesteryear, I think, is going to be everything.
Yes, I cannot wait.
Yep.
But also Anne Hathaway and Dakota Johnson in Verity.
Yes. Now,
which I think we'll see.
We'll see.
I think the two of them are top tier.
Yes.
But
I'm not a Coho girly. I know a lot of people love Coho, but I did read Verity. And Verity was one of those books that kind of sucked me in and I couldn't put it down sort of thing. So I'm really excited to see. But I think them playing opposite of each other will probably work really well.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm excited to see that.
Yep. And then all, and I mean all, of Sunrise on the Reaping. If you want to talk about every time a new cast member was announced, I was tagging Hannah and I'm like, boom, another one. Boom, another.
It was so good.
They did as close to perfect, I think, that a cast can get for an adaptation, genuinely. And I know there were a couple of people who have been like, oh, we could have done this or that, but for who was available, and they went out and said, we have no limits, we have no budget, give me your best people. And they hired every last one of them. Every last one of them. I cannot wait. We will be covering the movie when it comes out later. We've already done the book itself, but trust and believe that we will be recapping Sunrise on the Reaping because I will be weeping through the entire thing.
Yes. I just realized that my camera's up here, so I'm literally looking down the whole time.
Hey guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can just hi, welcome to the other side of the page. We are a bookish podcast that sometimes knows what we're doing.
Yep. And then last for top tier casting choices, and I will say this casting choice made me read this book.
Yes, I am going to read it before this comes out. I'm very excited.
I haven't read any Allie Hazelwood, and I've always heard great things about The Love Hypothesis, but I'm I'm not really a STEM romance girly.
Yeah.
But Lily Reinhart and Tom Bateman got cast as the lead in this book.
Yeah.
Adaptation.
Yeah.
So I was done reading it. Then I loved it. I adored it. I cannot wait to see them together.
I'm so excited. I genuinely can't wait. And I am very excited to read that book too. So that was a very short and sweet adaptations episode. It really was a spinoff. As soon as we started talking about Remarkably Bright Creatures, we were like, oh, but then we heard about this casting choice. And then we had the Gus Everett chaos that happened. And we had to discuss.
Yes.
So
we can definitely talk online after the movie comes out from Remarkably Bright Creatures. Just DM me. But thank you so much for turning the pages with us this week. Be sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, and join our newsletter to keep up with everything on the other side of the page.
Yes, and please, please, please drop a review and a 5-star rating of the podcast on your preferred platform and share us with your bookish besties.
Yes, next week we have our first Look What You Made Me Read book episode, where we will be discussing a book that I made sure Britt was reading this year.
Yes, like I said earlier, Hannah did threaten to harvest one of my kidneys, but we ended up reading Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke, and we will be talking about that next week on May 13th. So forever and always,
keep reading with kindness.
Bye, everyone.
Not my Gus.
# not my Gus.